Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host tonight, and we're going to fight CPS and stop taking our children. That's right, you heard me. I'm on here twice a day, 7 days a week. That's 14 shows a week. And I've been doing this for over a year. That's 700 recorded podcasts that I've done. If you want to go back and hear about my rules and about how to interact with this podcast, it's on there. Also, there's been interesting stories over the months. I've talked to over 600 people, and I've talked to 17 countries included in that. And some of these countries are recent. South Africa has been calling me every day, twice a day, about their case that's so bad with their parliament and their CPS program. So my podcast is worldwide. It's broadcast any place that has the internet. So welcome all people to my podcast that have trouble understanding CPS, whether you're in the United States or in Bangladesh or India or the Middle East or Africa or Europe or North America, South America, and Australia and New Zealand. Those are the countries, the continents that I've had from there. So there's been a lot of activity there. Now I'm on at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for 1 hour. And then again in the evening, I'm on at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for 1 hour. And that's 7 days a week. There is some deviations to that. What I'd like to do is this coming Saturday, Vincent has scheduled a podcast. And it's at 9:30. So I want to come on at 8 o'clock, so not to give any interference with his podcast. It gives them a half an hour after my show ends. And that way you all are invited to do so. Now, the podcast on Sunday is at 8 o'clock in the morning. I do that because of church. I like to attend church, and I believe in a God. So that is my Sunday. Now, on the 14th, which is a week from this Saturday, there's my final football game of Friday Night Lights. It's a high school game. They're going for the state championship, the open division. So my son will be there. And it's a family outing. So at that time, I like to start my podcast at 3 o'clock, but I haven't got it confirmed. And that's on the 14th Saturday at 3 o'clock. But those are the only exceptions to my changes unless you hear from me otherwise. Vincent Davis, who just told you a message about his podcast, it's important that you register. If you're not registered for school, be registered for the podcast because it's useful information. He is a dependency family juvenile attorney, the best there is around. He's a pit bull of attorney. He does fight CPS and does return your children. He's a trial attorney. You know, he's been doing this for 35 years. And furthermore, he has fought, when cases are closed, civil rights lawsuits against CPS, both at the state level and at the federal level. So he's a real deal. So any chance you get a chance to hear him or talk to him, take advantage of that. There are several other ways you can talk to him too. That won't cost you a dime. I'll tell you that shortly. But he is the real deal. And he is the attorney that helps solve your problems. So I hope you do consider him. I have a number on the screen right now, 888-888-6582. That's the law office of Vincent W. Davis and Associates. It's my law office. And he is available for a retainer. You can call in and talk to him. On the bottom of my screen, I have a ticket running that says that he will talk to you for 30 minutes for $60. 30 minutes, 30 minutes for $60. All you have to do is go to that website at the bottom of my screen. Go to the website, use your credit card, pay the $60, and you get 30 minutes of Zoom meeting with him, of private consultation. And, if you wanted to go him, all you do is call the office. Also, that office number will help you with other legal needs you might have. Say it's immigration or real estate or the workplace or an auto accident, or a legal, criminal matter or a divorce matter. So the area that you're in, and I really want to emphasize, because a lot of people still are confused because they go out and hire attorneys and pay 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 for a waste of money, is dependency law. That's the law that CPS uses to take your children away. And it specializes in family and juveniles. So that's the background you want for an attorney. That's the background you want. A criminal attorney is not going to help you. A divorce attorney is not going to help you. So it's best that you get a dependency lawyer that deals with the children and the family and the juveniles and how they get them back or keep them or never take them in the first place. Now, I've mentioned the word CPS. Okay, I'm back, and if there's some interruptions, I broadcast at home, and I have family members around. So, probably you're asking, who is this guy, Bob Pace? Well, first of all, I want to establish I'm not an attorney, but I've been fighting CPS for 15 years. I too had a case that was horrible. It was really, really horrible. And I did hire Mr. Davis to bail my family out, but I waited too late and I lost one of my children. I'm a family of 8. Now, what that means is that I have a husband and a wife and 6 children. Now, I'm the husband and I have a wife. And I have over 42 years of marriage experiences. I've been married to my current wife for 32 years. And we have 6 beautiful children, 3 older ones and 3 younger ones. But I've developed a rapport about fighting CPS. If what I knew now, and a lot of you agree with me, I would never have had my kids trafficking or alienated from us as parents. The child protection system is what I call CPS. It's all the government agencies around every state and every county. They have all different names, like in Arizona's Department of Children's Services, DCS. In Kentucky, it's the Cabinet. In California, in Orange County, it's the Child Protection Services. But right next door, they have it with, LA County, and they call them the Department of Children, Family, and Services. And that makes it even confusing within the state. So instead of sitting here trying to say which one, which state, whatever, I just say CPS, the Child Protection System. It means all the agencies. And what that system is supposed to do, Congress has mandated this government agency, a part of social services, to protect our children from danger and neglect. Well, they're not doing a very good job of it. A week ago, a 5-year-old girl died. 5 years old. She hadn't had a chance to do anything. She was raped by a 25-year-old man. She left the home. She went to live in the forest with a group of people that were homeless. And somehow she didn't have the clothing she needed or the food. They finally got her, but it was too late. They took her to the hospital and tried to revive her and take her, but she died. So at 5 years old, there is a child that never grew up to do anything, be president of the United States or do anything. And so this Child Protection Agency has really gone bad. They've gone rogue. And there's two reasons why they've gone rogue, or several reasons. One is that they have incentive for them to put children in foster care. President Bill Clinton in 1997 signed into law an act that gives money to the Child Protection Services for getting their children processed instead of doing family reunification. And since 97 to 24, family reunification has dropped drastically. Now, that is another part of CPS is supposed to do, is supposed to do family reunification. That's where they put the children together. That's where they put the children together. And the family members maybe have to take some parenting classes or some programs or do something there. I have to be careful of my camera because if I looks like I'm laying back, but I'm not. My eyes are wide open and the lag is just killing me at times. But anyway, and I gotta adjust my body again. The angle is not there. Let me see if that makes it better. And so fortunately, there my eyes stopped. That was ridiculous. I was staring at the screen and they were just sit there. Oh, brother. I oh geez. Uh-huh. Hmm. Okay. Now it stays on for a second or two. That just tells you how bad it is. So anytime I blink my eyes, which is watering your eyes, it's a natural reflex. It looks like I'm sleeping there. Ugh. Now I have no idea why my mic's been muted, and I have oh boy. Um, you have to do family reunification. The best parents are the biological parents, and studies have proven that is the best. So the biological parents can take parenting classes, or maybe a program that helps them with their drug rehab, or some minor things that are important, but they weren't putting the children in danger. I'm not talking about the things where the children are in danger. But a lot of cases sometimes are dumb things that parents do sometimes because no one is born with a book about raising children. It's like when you buy a car, you get an owner's manual that tells you about how the bells and whistles work. But when you get a child, you don't get an owner's manual. You learn from experience of watching others, your family as you grew up, or maybe you see a movie or something like that. I feel that these life skills that you miss out on should be happening from the time you're born and all through your college years. What I mean by life skills, I mean how to do a divorce, how to do a marriage, how to date, how to fight CPS, how to, feed a child or take care of a child or something like that. So, um, hold on one second. Okay. I'll be right back. I need to check on Okay, I'm so sorry. I had an emergency come up and I had to go into the kitchen. I'm trying to, what you may not know, but unfortunately, you know, Thanksgiving is happening tonight in the Pace household. And you're probably saying it's Monday. Thanksgiving was Thursday. Well, as most of you know, families grow up and the children wanted to be with their daughter, our daughter that was stolen by CPS. And they wanted to be with her. So we had to cancel Thanksgiving because we wanted him there, and 2 Thanksgiving meals in one day was just too much. He had a football Thanksgiving meal in the morning, let alone had a Thanksgiving meal um, Thursday night. So the first time my two sons said to be home was tonight, Monday. And so because they both work, they both go to school, it's hard with families. So I'm trying to cook turkey dinner, and it's almost done. And they need something to eat because my son came home early from school. He wasn't supposed to come home for another half an hour to 8 o'clock my time. And my other son won't be home to 9 o'clock. So I have dinner planned, but sometimes the best plans don't go to anything there. Now, I do want to recognize some people in the room. We have Emma Prescott. And welcome, Emma Prescott. Grace, I just explained it to the show. I had to take something care of in the oven. Okay, Grace, so I'm back. I've already explained it to the show, and I gave apologies to there. Anyway, we have a person named Emma Prescott. I don't think you've been on before, but she has said, it's very important what she says. Why would I take 3 psych evaluations and the therapist came to a trial stating I have no mental health, but the judge requests to have a full psychiatric evaluation that is 4 hours long? Well, Emma, I don't know why you had to do the 3 psych evaluations. I don't know if your attorney forced you to do that or what, because you don't have to take 3 psych evaluations. CPS is notorious of saying stuff you have to do that you don't have to do. They lie, they're not transparent, and they do things that are against your constitutional and civil rights. So thank you for sharing me that with Emma. And then, of course, Emma says, we can't hear you. I had to leave the room for a brief moment, and I'm back again. It's my Thanksgiving meal that I'm trying to handle and the show at the same time. And I apologize. Now, Emma further says, well, I already played health. Okay, I don't know where you're from, Emma. For some of you that are new, I appreciate if you could give me your first name, which you've given, and your city or your county your case was in, and the state, Emma. That would really help me. Let me see what else Emma said here. I'm so grateful to have Emma in here. Okay, she says, is it over with? I can't hear nobody or see nothing. No, it's not over, and I'm still talking. I'm surprised you're not hearing me. Let me ask my show producer. Show producer, are you hearing me okay? Do you hear me all right? Do the other people in my room hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Use emojis or something. There. Anyway, Emma, if you could share with me, let me put up the request. I have a thing when you type in comments. When you're typing in comments, type in a message. Try to make your comment or your question about CPS. Show your first name, your city or county, and the state. And if you're from another country, show me your country and province. And try to be complete with your CPS case. Tell me some more, Emma, so I can help you with your question. I don't know where you're at on your case, but I want to help you. Emma. I want to help you. Yes, right. Thank you, Grace. Yeah, the comment came in when I was excused myself. Before I left the show, I said, excuse me 1 moment. I was back within 1 minute there. But anyway, you now can hear me, so I'm glad you tell me, Grace. Emma, you should hear me. So please continue to text me messages. If you want to call in, my number's live, and you can call in at my number. And let me take this down and put my number up here for a second. There's my number, 626-698-0990. And so, if you want to text a message, there's what you need to do. And then there is my number. Now, only call me during my show time. Do not call me before or after because I can't answer it. So we were talking about what is CPS. And I call it the Child Protection System. It's supposed to do family reunification. Furthermore, it's supposed to provide you with food, shelter, clothing, transportation, education, and medical. And also to help you find a job. So that's what CPS is. And there are 4 ways to interact with my podcast. 1 is you can call into my show. 2 is that okay, and then let me see here. The first way is you're in this room. The second way is to text a message. The third way is to be a guest, and the fourth way is to call in. But I haven't talked about the third way. Now, if you want to be on live on this podcast, I really encourage you to. You can schedule to be our guest on this show. Please email our show producer at grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's grace@vincentwdavis.com. And you can do that. You can do that. So those are the 4 ways. I'll leave my phone number up there. Now she'll give you, Grace is my show producer, and I thank her for all she does. But she will write you back with a link. It's on StreamYard, is the application. I broadcast on YouTube, so it's on StreamYard. And so, with that being said, she will broadcast you the link, and then you can get on. If you get knocked off, that link will be good for the whole show. She'll also explain to you what to do and not to do. So those are the 4 ways. Right now, you're in this room listening, which is great. Just send emojis, and anything would be great to put in there. There's no question about that. Now, we've had a lot of people lately express help on their case. We had Emma, who's asking about the psych evaluations, and I told her that you don't need to do them because they're going to be done. You need to do, anytime to ask you have to do what your attorney says. Now, for those who are using court-appointed attorneys, you need to make them work for you. The problem being, these court-appointed attorneys just know about criminal law. They do not know about dependency law. Furthermore, they have a caseload of 30 more. They're not going to fight for your case, but you got to make them work. You got to tell me, look, you're my court-appointed attorney. I want you to fight for my case. Now, getting a real attorney is the best thing to do. And as I say, Mr. Davis is available. But any other attorney, you need to ask these are important questions. 1, have you fought CPS and gotten children back? And are you a dependency juvenile family lawyer? If the answer is yes, the next question you should ask, have they ever done a civil suit, both in either federal or state classes, where they sued them and got money for it? If the answer to those questions are yes, then you found yourself an attorney. Then you got to work with that attorney and work their fees. Myself, when I had to get Vincent Davis, I had to sell my house. That was the worst thing in my life because I lost my job at age 60. Shortly thereafter, I started getting calls from CPS. Apparently, a layperson's, which were my in-laws, my wife's mother, father, three sisters, and a brother, were calling in once a week. I did not know this, and reporting that we as mothers and fathers weren't feeding our children, weren't taking them to school, weren't clothing them, weren't providing shelter and everything else on that case. Well, that was not true. I had a $2 million home and I was paying the mortgage and the electricity and everything else. I had money put away for emergencies like this when I lost my job. And I was trying to find a job, but at age 60, they don't like to hire old people. They think you're a dinosaur at age 60. I'm far from being a dinosaur. I feel like right now I'm about 45 years old. I'm 75 at the moment, but I can still surf and I can still skateboard. I have my balancing and I can still in pretty good physical shape. But I had to fight these people. And for 5 years, these ongoing complaints by lay people, which were my in-laws, were constantly being called from Ohio to California. And the law says is that if someone calls in, CPS must believe it's true. So you're guilty until you're proven innocent. It's the only court of law that you're guilty until you're proven innocent. And they will investigate your home within 24 hours. They have to investigate within 24 hours. There are rules that they have to go by, but they also take advantage of a lot of those rules. They hide behind a cloak of the name CPS. They think they can do anything. They don't think parents have any rights. They think they can traffic your children into foster care, or they can alienate your children from you as parents. My 3 young children, luckily my older ones were grown up and living on their own, but my 3 ones, they stole them. When they finally, after 5 years in 2015, they got tired of constantly coming out and seeing there was nothing there. And apparently the comments from late people were still coming in. So this time they contacted the police and they asked the police to get a detective to follow me so that they can order me to come home. You see, you don't have to let them in your home. My rule number 3 says you do not talk to social workers. You do not open the front door. You don't talk to them if you meet them outside, and you do not surrender your children. There's only 3 ways they can get you. 1, if you give them permission, which most of you do, including myself. 2, if there is extreme danger happening, like violence, and the child is in jeopardy of being harmed, then the social worker and police can enter the home. But there's got to be a fight going on, or knives or weapons or anything else. Arguing in front of your children is a no-no. Now, the 3rd way is something called a warrant. It's a legal document that they abuse. They cheat. They use fake warrants. They lie. When you look at that warrant, it's got to be a regular paper. It can't be a PDF file or a laptop computer note there. It's got to be original paper. It's got to be on a court documented paper. Way to see that is always look at the bottom. It'll say what number the warrant is, what type of form it is. That tells you that is a legal paper. Furthermore, it's got to be filled out correctly. It's got to have who the person they're investigating. If it's 2 people or 3 people, their name's got to be there. Below them, it's got to be the allegations, neglect or abuse. And then what are the children that are being neglected or abused? The names of the children. Furthermore, it's got to have the address of where they're going to do the investigation. If it's your home, your office, or wherever, they got to have that address. And lastly, they got to put on there, I shouldn't say lastly, but next to last, they got to put on what they can do with your children. They can talk to you. There got to be special directions, or take your child or search your home. That's got to be on that form. And there's got to be a date and time they can do that. They got to be a date and time. Then it's supposed to be a wet signature with a hand stamp embossed over that wet signature so that the emboss is raised and the wet signature is on the emboss. There's no way you'd be able to forge that. So that is what a warrant looks like. And my problem is too many people out there do not look at warrants close enough. They don't look at warrants close enough. So that's an important document. Now, I've talked about some of my rules, by the way. And rule one is that you have to get an attorney, and you need to get an attorney in the right field. And two is so important right now. A lady this morning was talking about something I tell you should all get. When you have your documents, you need to put them in a notebook, a 3-ring binder, and have subject tabs, and then stuff it full of notebook paper. But the most important document is the incident timeline log. You're going to list every incident and keep a log of the times, the dates, the times. So on the first line, you put down the date, the time, and the location and the people that were involved in the incident. The second line is a 1-sentence summary of what the incident's about. The third line is the outcome of the incident. If you don't know the outcome, you skip it and come back later when you do know the outcome. You skip some lines, put the next incident and the next incident and the next incident. Your incidents can be from a lot of people here. Wait 1 second here.
Hello, this is John Pace, and if you're trying to call me, I'm currently not on the phone. I tend to be available around more in the evening.
I'm sorry, I was trying to hold on 1 second here, please. Hold on 1 second. Hey, John, Trace, this is expert. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, who am I speaking to? This is Bob Pace you reached.
Emma Prescott?
Could you spell your first name?
hour long. So she did a court order for me to do a full psych evaluation for like, if the full psych evaluation is like for 5 hours or whatever. And she was like, basically, she said that she don't find me guilty or whatever with my case. She said only thing she wanted me to do is take the full psych evaluation so I can have my son back into my care. And she told me to go to an agency to do the evaluation, which it is tomorrow. But my question is for you is, if they told me to go to this place in the beginning and I went 4 times, why in the world do I need to go to a different place for 4 or 5 hours? Like, if everybody is saying that I don't have mental health, why am I still playing this game of still having evaluation?
Well, your problem is you're first of all letting CPS control you, and I don't blame you because you think you're doing the right thing. The problem is they want to find you mentally retarded so they keep your children. They want to find that you have a mental problem, and that's their typical MO. What is your attorney saying? What is your attorney saying?
Well, in the beginning, my attorney was like, she told them, like, no, my client is not going to continue taking evaluations. She already took his evaluation. She don't need any more. But then after a week after she said that in court, she messaged me, emailed me. It was like, well, you just need to follow what they are saying to you and don't make it harder.
Well, is this, okay, may I ask you, is this a court-appointed attorney?
Yeah, this is a court-appointed attorney.
Okay. The problem with court-appointed attorneys is they have a caseload of 30 or more clients, so they don't have time. Second of all, they're only criminal attorneys. They are not dependency law, family, juvenile attorneys. And on top of that, they're not going to fight your case because they work for CPS, and CPS is probably buffaloing them. If your attorney said you don't, see, here's the thing is, first of all, any testing you do, you need to have your own doctor do the testing. You should never, ever have to do a test that they prescribe with their own doctors because they're going to jimmy the results. That's how bad they are. And I know you don't like to hear this. But you don't have to do another test. If the judge orders another test, he has to have a good cause. And you need to tell that attorney to pull his pants up, or if it's a girl attorney, to pull her skirt up and work for you. There is no proof. I mean, agencies want you to fail. Why do you think they want you 4 times?
And it's good because my son, he's 13 years old or whatever. And
well, what was it? Can you tell me the beginning? Because I'm now in the middle of what you have to do. How did it start? Was somebody called in on you, and then they contacted you? How were you contacted?
Basically, I was contacted. I was at work, and about like 6 police, and these CPS was at my house, and my neighbor called me and was like, "Hey, CPS and police is at your house." And then when I got off of work, I went directly to my son's daycare, and I met CPS. And they said they got a call in that I have a mental illness. Did someone
retaliate against you? Did you rub somebody the wrong way and they called in to retaliate against you? Someone did that?
Yeah, like me and my sister was arguing.
See, that's what happens is that family members will use the CPS thinking they could get back at you, but instead it makes the whole mess worse. They make the whole mess worse. Your attorney, if you're going to use a court-appointed attorney, has to do a job. And you need to tell the court-appointed attorney that your sister is the one that made the allegations. There's no validity to it. You've done 4 tests. They'll all come back negative. You don't need to take any more tests, especially if it's a different place. There's nothing determinate. You have their doctor tell you there's nothing wrong with you. And if you want to on your own, go see your own doctor and have a test done. That makes it more powerful. In fact, that's what I would do. Instead of taking the test where they tell you to, just say you're going to take your own doctor. Now you got your own doctor's results.
Yeah, I was doing that in the beginning, but my doctors, and I live in a small city, a lot of them is booked up for a couple months. So they was like, basically, they was not going to give my son back until they received their evaluation.
Well, first of all, did they have a court warrant when they took your child?
Oh, no.
Well, so how did they take your child? You gave permission to give them to them, right?
It was what was it? It was the thing that I had to do. What was the thing I had to sign? It was basically
a family plan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A safety plan. Those are so bad. See, here's the first of all, what you should have done when you showed up to get your child and they're there, just you said the first things out of your mouth is that I need to speak to my attorney and have my attorney present for any more discussion about this matter. Give me your names, and my attorney and I will get back to you at a time and place we can meet. And then take your child. And they say, where you go with your child? I said, do you have a warrant? You don't know these things. Emma, I'm sorry, you don't know those things. And they'll say, no, we don't have a warrant, or, oh, we got one. But they can get one, but it's going to be hard. See, the problem is 99% of the people don't know the law. They do not know CPS has a bad habit of making trillions of dollars of money. They're in this for money. They have incentive that they get X number of dollars for every child they put in foster care. They have a incentive program. Family reunification is too long and involves too long of a time and everything. And so they're going to take your child, especially if you're a young child. Now, this child in daycare.
Right, because the thing about my child is autistic and nonverbal. My child is like severe disabled, and he's 13 years old. I've been taking care of my child because his dad been terminated his rights or whatever, and so nobody in my family stood up and say, hey, I will take him until you're done with this CPS case, because they said that he's a handful or whatever. And so I had trial last month, and the judge had said they don't find my case. What was the word? They don't find him. Basically, they was telling the CPS workers that basically they found me innocent. They don't find me guilty, and they told me that if I did have my own place with a lease, they would have had me have my son returned. But since I don't have my own place and I stay with my grandparents, they was like, well, until you have your own place with a lease and you take the last evaluation, that's when we will return him to you.
Well, they're making wheels and deals. You know, you ever watch those game shows where they talk about door number 1, door number 2, door number 3? Well, the CPS workers are like that. They're playing with you. You're like Alice in Wonderland. You fell in the rabbit hole. You met the Chester Cat, and the Chester Cat sends you from room to room chasing your tail. You got to get out of that thinking that you're in Alice in Wonderland. They are not your friend. Fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. You need an attorney that knows the laws, that will fight for you. Court-appointed attorneys, I'm sorry to say, they have a very beginning legal thing. They're only there because the law says that anybody who is in a legal matter must have an attorney. If they can't afford one, the courts will appoint one. The problem is the quality of attorneys they appoint are terrible. They're terrible. So you've gone ahead and tested negative results. You have those results. If you wanted to go to your own doctors, you can. But you have to get that doctor approved by the judge, by the way. If you want to use your own doctor.
And those doctors is all booked up, so they won't give me my son until I get a doctor. And those doctors is all booked up. So since they have a referral, the doctors they refer me to, it can do it immediately. Because the doctors that I've been calling around, They was like, yes, we accepting new patients, but if we booked up for about 5 months, 6 months, I don't call a lot of places, even if I have to drive 2 or 3 hours away, a lot of them is really booked up, and that's the issue.
Well, the issue is part of it's not your fault. You're low income, and low income people are taken advantage by the child protection system. They don't care. They cater because your sister called CPS and opened up a can of worms. And so they believe your sister.
If I went to trial already, I did the hard part is going to trial.
No, you're not gone to trial. There's several trials you have to go through. There's ones where they eliminate your parental rights and they'll take your child away from you forever. There's a whole stage of things. And you need to sit that with that attorney and not let him go anywhere. I don't care if he has other cases. If he is appointed to you, he have to work for you or he'll quit. And if he quits, you go to the public defender's office and get another one and another one and another one. Or you get yourself a real attorney. A real attorney.
But yeah, this case is almost done with. That's what my public defender had told me, that I went to trial and the judge had told me after I take the last evaluation, my son will return.
Yeah,
So
but
this is almost done with.
Yeah, well, here's what I mean. First of all, what part of the world are you from? I don't even know what city or country or state you're from.
I'm from Gainesville, Florida.
Okay, Gainesville is a very bad area. The reason why I say that, there was a black Air Force airman at the age of, oh God, I would say he was 25, that was killed by a Gainesville sheriff who was out investigating domestic violence. And he was talking to his girl on FaceTimes, and he opened the door and he was point blank shot by the sheriff 5 times. And that was by the Gainesville Sheriff Department. So the Gainesville, I heard, is very, very corrupt. And the Sheriff's Department is very, very, very corrupt. And they certainly, they don't like to help people that are low income. And your situation is that you're not going to rush out to hire an attorney because it's hard enough finding a good one. It's hard enough to get one. Now, you have called in, and you also will get rewarded because I'm going to give you 15 minutes to talk to my attorney, Vincent W. Davis, for no charge on a consultation, a Zoom meeting, since you qualified. You qualified by talking on my phone or being a guest. I'm trying to encourage other people to do that. But Mr. Davis will talk to you for 15 minutes and no charge, a Zoom private consultation, and he'll help you strategize how you can fight your case. So all you need to do is at the end of this phone call is I want you to write your name, your full name, or you text me your full name and your phone number and your email, and I'll make arrangements with my show producer and get you with that free consultation.
Wow, thank you so much.
No, you need that help. And I'm trying to tell you, he's the best in the business. At the end of my podcast, he'll talk again about his upcoming Zoom meeting. But, he is a pit bull of attorney. He's doing a case in Oklahoma right now. He does Northern California, Southern California. His home office is Arcadia, south of Los Angeles, California. But he'll go anywhere in the United States. But that's a separate issue you have to work out with him on his retainer. But you can talk to him for 15 minutes, and it's a valuable time of 15 minutes. You can tell him, hey, look, I was wrongly accused by my sister of doing something to my children. All right? And then you tell him further that the police showed up and the social worker showed up at the daycare center and they got my one child. Where was your 13-year-old boy at?
He was at daycare. He was at daycare.
Oh, okay. You had one at daycare. Is this how many children? Yeah, how many children you have?
I have two. I have a
Where was the other
2-year-old
one?
daughter, and I have my daughter is with her dad.
Okay, so you guys together as mom, as husband, wife, or you're apart, divorced, or what?
Oh, we're not together. We just do a great parent thing together.
Understood. Did you guys separate, or are you divorced, or what is the marital arrangement?
Oh yeah, we never was married. We
Did
just
you have a custody arrangement of the children done in court?
no.
See, they can take away the child from the biological father. He's got to be really careful because they can do that because there's more money. You see, it's $1 trillion business. They get tons of money. $1 trillion. I don't know if you know how much that is, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they get it very regularly. They get it by having children that are adopted into foster care or put into foster care. And that's what their goal is. And they don't care.
My son
Go ahead.
is with his teacher.
That's fine. Your son is okay being with the dad. But they're going to try to want to contact the dad what they want to do with your daughter. Because isn't he the biological father of your daughter?
Yes.
So have they contacted the dad?
They have contacted dad, but they left them alone because they really focused on my son.
Well, I keep saying your daughter, your son. That's the one that was taken into foster care, right?
Yes.
Now, did you suggest they're supposed to ask you for a list of 20 family members that your child could stay with? Were they ever afford to give you that question?
Yeah, they did ask me about my family member.
Yeah, did you have
family
20
member said
names?
no.
Did you have 20 names you could submit?
Well, all of my family members say no because my son has special needs.
Okay, I know. I understand that. So there's not one family member that can take care of your son that has special needs.
No, all of my family members said no.
Okay, I'm sorry
All
to
my
hear
family
that.
members said no.
So they're going to try to put it in foster care. They get more money, by the way, with special needs children. They get additional like $1,000 a month the foster care gets.
Oh wow.
I mean, these children, my 3 children that were kidnapped and put into traffic into foster care weren't in danger, but they were getting $20,000 per child. That's 3 children of $60,000 a month. That's how much money they make. Not from me. They get it from the state, who in turn gets it from the federal government.
Don't when it comes down to special needs, is it a different route they were supposed to take?
Sometimes they will put children into another state because the state may not be able to handle the special needs. The state may not handle the special needs.
Right, because that's what I got my degree in. I got my degree in behavioral for special needs because of my son.
Okay, right. Well, I'm so glad that you are, but we're going to get you back. You're going to talk to Vincent Davis. Furthermore, I recommend you do no more psycho evaluations. You've already done enough. Your attorney has already established that at court. You got to either make that attorney work right now that you have, or get rid of him. You're better off. You're better off defending yourself, because if you.
The judge has said I needed to do the last one.
Yeah. Who said you had to do the last one?
The judge.
How did the judge get convinced you had to do one more test?
Because she said the other one was only for 1 hour. She said she wanted me to take one for 5 hours.
Oh, brother. Well, when you ask Mr. Davis, I'd ask him that question, because I'm not an attorney. Okay. I can only do what I know when I fought my case. I had been fighting CPS for 15 years. Vincent Davis been for 35 years. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in CPS. But, I think the best thing for you to do then is to talk to Mr. Davis. I don't know how soon that will happen. But when you give your name and phone number and stuff, you can, when they contact you, you can say you can make it sooner if you could.
Okay.
But the attorney that you have right now, either he works or you get rid of him, because you can fight the case yourself. It's dangerous because you don't know the law. But if you're intelligent and speak clearly and don't get emotional and say your piece, you can do a lot. Because right now, you can't speak in court. You have an attorney. Only your attorney can speak on your behalf. And that attorney is bad because he's part of CPS. He's controlled by CPS. Is it a he or a she?
It's a she.
Okay. She is controlled by CPS. Now, I'm going to have to curtail my show right now because I've reached my 1 hour here on my show. But that doesn't mean you have to disappear from me. Now, I'll be on again tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you can talk to me then. You can talk to me then.
Thank you.
Or you can talk again tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So I'm on at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's 10 to 11, that's 1 o'clock your time. Or I'm on at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, and that's 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10 o'clock your time in the evening. And you can talk to me all the time. I'm not going to disappear from you. I'm available. I've been on this show for over a year. I've done over 700 podcasts, and I try to be very punctual. I'm here. Now, tonight, I do apologize to you that I was having some technical difficulties because I'm trying to take care of my family at the same time, and it's really hard. I still got two of my children there, and that I was trying to do this Thanksgiving meal, and I was trying to cook and do this and that, and it's hard. It's like, anyway, I really appreciate you calling in. Now, don't forget to text the message. That's 626-698-0990. Your full name, your phone number, and your email. Okay?
Okay.
And then I do the rest. And, and I would think about getting rid of that attorney if he's not going to do his job. If you talk to him again and say, look, if you're not performing me and fighting this case, I can't use you. I'll be better off fighting it myself. And as far as taking that test, you can go ahead and do so, but you run the risk of this other outfit that may be bad. And if you test positive, they're going to try to take it, but you can still fight your case. Don't worry, you can still get your child, but do not talk to them without your attorney. And then also, do not do anything without your attorney's advice either.
Okay.
And think about your own medical. If it's down the road, you still need to have your own doctor tell you what to do if you have a mental problem. They're hoping they can make you mentally so they can take your child, kidnap it, traffic them into foster care, and then terminate your rights. That's their goal. They're not your friend. They're not going to do family unification. The Gainesville child protection system in Gainesville, Florida is horrible. I'm sorry to tell you that. Because you're not the first person I've heard about Gainesville. And it's a shame because you sound like a good, loving mother that wants to take care of your child, and your sister's doing an awful thing by doing that. So I've got to go now. God bless you, Emma, and keep in touch. And also, all you listeners out there, keep fighting for your children. Vincent Davis has a brief word message to say. So this is Bob Pace signing off.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out. Join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.